Keem, thanks for coming in, man.
Definitely.
We're
Thanks for
here
having
at MIT Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory. What brought you here today?
I mean, where else would I want to be? Honestly, that's the
This is
best.
Disneyland, right?
Exactly. Like just being around the thought leaders and learning what they're working on, connecting with other founders. It's just a great ecosystem to be in, and this is our second time, so
I love it, love
if
it.
I can present, I'm here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your journey getting to this point.
Yeah, I've had a complex, interesting journey. It's
Good,
a
good, good.
great long time, but it's like I graduated school with economics, but then public policy, but then went in to be a congressional staffer right out of that, and went overseas to Eastern Europe and the Balkans to work with organizations and communities to better connect with government. So worked with a lot of USAID funded projects, embassy funded projects over there. Came back, worked at World Central Kitchen. I'm not sure if you heard of them.
No, no.
Chef Jose Andres' organization
Okay.
that does impact versus responses
Yeah,
to
yeah.
community. So led some operations for a couple of states and a country over in Albania, and then worked for the CDC, started a company, started a nonprofit. So it's just very short 10 years, I guess you're going to call it that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of different careers in the public sector.
Yeah, congressional staffer, USAID, CDC. You got all the acronyms down,
Exactly.
all
So
right?
just put them all in there.
So that pushed you to build what you're working on today.
Exactly.
What from that experience made you say, enough is enough? What you're building needs to exist in the world.
Yeah, actually, it's ironic enough, like my friend group or my inner circle know me as the government guy.
The gov guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like so, when they come around to it, they're trying to figure out what's going on. I think it was actually the 2020 elections kicked this whole thing off.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yep.
how do we get engaged? How do we figure out what's going
Yeah.
on? And I'm thinking, I know what's going on, and let me try to tell you. And I was like, this is hard.
Yeah.
And I would have ended up like some of the other organizations that help connect people with elected officials. But
Yeah.
I saw the problem was way deeper than that. It's more, no one really understands what's going on at the different levels. And government is doing a great job by all means attempting to get this information to people. But for some reason, there's this disconnect because we keep acting like we're back in the 80s and 70s where you have 500 people per city and the way you engage is the same now, 2024.
Yeah.
But we have technology, this AI that can help us change that.
So is generative AI, is that the unlock that made what you're doing now possible at scale?
Yes. So each municipal or each, I guess, governing body does things a little bit unique. And what we pride ourselves in is being able to track it from the most top federal level down to actually implementing at a citizen level. But because each one has its own nuances, generative AI allows us to scale once we find the common thread amongst it. So we don't have to keep doing for each one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we can build around having the kind of base connectivity
Yeah.
from top to bottom, and then building around nuances or training the model on nuances that then can help it to scale across different municipalities, different focus areas after we do it once or twice.
And how's the reception been?
It's been great. We've talked to individuals from economic development offices who said
Yep.
we created this program and we've had 5 applicants and only gave about 10% of funding. I was on my side of that, seeing like how we've given out funded or had funding just sit there and it just recycles and goes back and our budget keeps increasing, but we just keep having the same funding. And then individuals who are like, yes, oh my God, I have children and this program can help us buy diapers because it's something super simple where you can track it back, or women who say I can go and get a screening because they went from the CARES Act and worked all the way down to a local nonprofit where women can access these benefits. Or just some of the cases where you can just see the tangible benefits of it.
There's so much fear mongering around AI right now, or generative AI, and sort of how it's going to take over the world. Yet you're in this use case where what you're doing now wouldn't have been possible 2 years ago.
Right.
How do you spread that vision to others that you're able to leverage this technology to totally change the lives of folks on the other side of these grants government programs?
Yeah, I think we have to take a step back. And I always reference, I can't remember the book it was, but it was the saying like when they first made the car, they put like a silhouette of a horse in front
Yeah.
so people could be more receptive.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah,
just
yeah.
come out and say, accept this new technology,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
life-changing.
Yeah.
You start with, I think our first interaction with the community oftentimes is an email.
Okay.
Saying, hey, these are 5 resources we think your community would benefit from. If you're interested, let's talk, let's figure out. So meet them where they are. I remember we worked with a individual in a community and she didn't have a cell phone. So we had to reconfigure and understand how to engage people with
Right.
landlines and
Right.
so we can't expect everyone to jump straight to AI. We can use AI, and as long as they start to understand the benefits, that success stories of how AI helped them figure something out
Yeah.
will spread amongst those kind of hesitant groups who
Yeah.
might not adopt it.
And what's your own adoption been like? You encounter this technology, ChatGPT came out, right? Was it right away you knew how to use it, or talk us through your adoption, understanding you knew the problem and had to learn the technology?
Yeah, it's exciting. I love everything building new. Everyone knows me. I'm mega projects, innovation. That's my thing. So
Yeah.
when ChatGPT came out and I was able to test it and see what it's capable of doing, I immediately started like plugging at different use cases of how we can apply to what we're building.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So my adoption was let's test, let's see how we can improve. And there's still more, way more that I need to learn. And I'm learning from other founders and
Yeah.
other researchers in the space
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And that's where we just continue to grow. So I say let's bring it, but with the understanding that we need to make sure we have enough people in the room. And that's where my job CEO comes into, where I can
Yeah.
have different perspectives. Like I told you one about the rural, I told you about the elder with no cell phone, I
Yeah.
told you about the community or the health or the, so we make sure we incorporate and keep that of kind of input into what we're doing.
Yeah. We're stuck between two worlds where, today you have to navigate for the limitations of what that LLM can do. It's going to
Right.
hallucinate, it's going to be, incorrect some of the time, but at the same time, plan for what 2 or 3 or 4 years looks from now
Right.
at this exponential technology shift. So how do you guys think about that as a business, as a company, as a product?
Yeah, I think yes, the general LLM models are going to hallucinate. They're going to have different. They may give you an answer, may give you a direction, but that's where we're different. Yes, we leverage a lot of the building that those general models, but more and more companies like ours are more specific and focus on a core area. And then once we're able to scale and succeed in the next 5, 10 years, then we can all come together and then share that information in a way that the general models then can have more accurate curated
Yeah.
data and insights. Like I would love to continue partnering. I think there's other legislation companies here that hold legislation through with AI practices.
Yeah, yeah.
Our AI practices and how we capture legislation insight, and there may be a little different. Let's bring them together because
Yeah.
it's maybe same or different. Let's kind of co collaborate. I
Yeah,
guess is the
yeah,
best
yeah,
way.
yeah,
Collaborate is
totally.
what I should say.
And you talked 5 to 10 years from now, like you have a vision for what you want this to become.
Right.
Tell me, 5, 10 years from now, like what's different? How are governments operating?
Yeah. Like you said, my vision of for it and the companies I believe line up. It's creating a better society, making resources more efficient, having more connectivity and understanding of how government processes work. Because you may think, like I remember working for Congress, something would happen, a constituent would call, but it wasn't our area of focus. So having that level of engagement education amongst the individual would like make their lives 100 times better, but also improve their perception of the government
Yeah,
space because they call the wrong office, or it takes 8 loops to figure out where to actually get to, and then they think they're the government employees or the legislators aren't trying to serve their purpose. They're great people on both sides, and we joke around like CIVA is the next Jarvis eventually in the government space, so we can have this entity you can speak to like, hey CIVA, I have this concept going on, and she can give you feedback, and we can plug that into any other current, I guess, technology like Alexa or Siri.
yeah,
Would
yeah.
love to have that capability. So that's my
See, was the next government Jarvis. I love it.
exactly.
I love it. I love it. And it's so net new, infusing software with AI. I mean,
Right.
AI, generative AI is by nature not deterministic, right?
Right.
It's just, yeah, the von Neumann computer has been deterministic for the last 60 years, and here we are. And so, how do you handle that from a product perspective?
Again, it goes back to testing and seeing results, really understanding how people respond to what the end product is. So I'll give you an answer once we figure it out. So we're not there yet. So once we figure it out, I promise you I'll say
We'll do next one. Yeah, we're right across the river in Kendall Square, and we'll do lessons learned. Well, this has been super fun. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Also, is there anything else you want to plug real quick? We can just.
Yeah, check out CIVA app, and if you have an organization that's looking to connect with government resources and access those resources more efficiently, tell them to look us up. And
So legislators, mayors, state senators, should they be talking to CIVA?
Yes, they should be aware of CIVA and they should help us to, push programs that would benefit their communities through CIVA.
Yeah.
But like, I think the most effective way for this, and I heard about this today from one of the
Yvonne?
secretaries
Yeah.
that came.
Yeah, Yvonne. Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, and they're pushing or proposing a bill to the legislators that would then increase funding towards AI research
Yep.
and program. That helps us.
Yeah.
So they should be aware in that sense of it. But really, it's let's help them get the resources they've already built in to the communities.
Yeah.
And then once that's there, let's help them talk to the communities so they can help build the next programs better.
Yeah.
So that's the point where we'll start incorporating more elected officials. But they've been supportive so far, and we've enjoyed talking to them.
I love it. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks.